It seems as though lack of skills is the key to a lot of social problems at the moment. So immigration, welfare reform, antisocial behaviour. Can you tell me how the government proposes to tackle this?
Look, you're absolutely right. Skills is the big issue of our time. We are clear that we have to get 80% of the population up to GCSE level in terms of their qualification level by 2020. We need an adult careers service, and we said we're going to do that. We need to ensure that our employers are training people up to level 2 and beyond in their skills levels. We're putting £940 million into that package. We are trying to transform the culture of skills in this country, and that's why people are seeing ads on television telling people skills are in your hands. Go along to your local training provider. Ask your employer for skills. The money, the subsidy is there to deliver that. We have a new commission for employment and skills led by Sir Michael Rake, the head of BP. We are responding to the challenge that was set by Sandy Leach to change the skills agenda in this country. We have a long way to go. That's why, for example, we've said that we've also got to increase apprenticeships to 500,000 people doing apprenticeships by 2013. So it's a big agenda. You're right to say that skills is the challenge that we face.
So in a lot of areas, in London, Manchester, Birmingham, there's a high level of unemployment, but also a high level of demand for unskilled immigrant labour. Do you feel as though that there might have to be an element of compulsion to persuade younger people who don't have skills, who are claiming welfare, to actually take up training packages and take up jobs?
I think that we've got quite far with the New Deal. We've got quite far with tax credits coming into poorer homes. We've got quite far with helping particularly women back into employment, programs like Sure Start. We've got further to go. I don't think it's about compulsion. I think it's about changing the environment. I think it is right that we extend the age by which young people are leaving school up to 18 to ensure that people are in training. We've got to have the funds there, and we have them to ensure that employers themselves are training their people, because of course 2/3 of the 2020 workforce aren't in school. They are currently employed. So there's a big agenda of work. Government can't do it alone. It's got to work with civic society, got to work with voluntary organisations, got to work with schools. Our further education colleges play a key role in that social mission to ensure that education is there for all, that lifelong learning is there for all, that we have a culture of learning in this country that continues throughout life. What we're clear about is that in the 21st century economy, it is important that people continue to learn, because they will often be doing 2 or 3 jobs in their lifetime.
It's a problem that, sticking with schools, that a lot of the kids who leave school without qualifications often don't learn up to the age of 16. How is keeping them in school to the age of 18 going to address those issues?
Well, it's keeping them in training, which is not necessarily in school. It may well be in a further education college. It may be in an apprenticeship, and that's why we want to increase apprenticeship, so indeed it's with an employer. It may well be training at home. So it's not just about being in school, particularly for young people who maybe have had a bad experience of school.
And what happens to those kids who you give an apprenticeship to, or you train, and they don't engage with the training, they don't turn up, they're disruptive? Do they get kicked off?
Well, I mean, I think the important thing is that there's the package of support to support young people. I think we've seen much more pastoral care in schools with classroom assistants. I think we're seeing further education providers doing all they can to reach out to young people. We've also said, of course, that youth services must be a statutory provision again, so we're seeing more youth workers, social workers and others in partnership with employers around apprenticeships and other initiatives to ensure that young people are getting the support they need.
Just to close, Peter Hyman, who left Number 10 to go and work in a school in Islington, he felt that one of the biggest problems for secondary schools was the amount of kids that go all the way through the system, without being able to read or write or being at the adequate standard. Do you think there's any merit in David Cameron's proposal to keep those kids back until they've reached a certain standard before they go on to secondary school?
Well, I mean, I don't think that particularly is going to help. I think what you've got to do is put funding into schools, which we've done, raise standards in schools, which we've done, invest in gifted and talented programs and excellence in city programs, which we've done, and at the same time, when you're extending the school age, don't prescribe that those young people are staying in school. I'm not sure that is the way forward, but actually, yes, that they're in training, that they're in employment, but the money should follow them wherever is appropriate for their particular needs, and certainly make vocational training and education a priority. Again, we're introducing new diplomas to do that. So I think it's a package of measures. It's not about necessarily keeping young people in school. It's about meeting their particular needs and supporting them as appropriate.